Hello friends, and thanks so much for joining me here at Now Toxic Home. I'm glad you're here. We hear from a lot of people with a lot of different issues, and some people who don't actually have medical issues but just want to improve their health. And this video hopefully will help those of you who want to improve their health and well-being, or those of family members or even friends. Unfortunately, a lot of people stop in their research before it is complete. And so this video hopefully will help you with that. In this video, I will be sharing information with you that I wish someone would have told me decades ago. So know that this video is shared with love. What I'm telling you with love. I want you to be informed, and the facts are what they are. Now, a lot of people in their research are trying to find what's wrong with them. They'll get a diagnosis, finally, sometimes after months, years, or even decades, and then they'll stop there. Oh, I got this diagnosis. That's it. That's just the beginning of your research. That's just the start. The diagnosis is just the start. You in liver failure? Why are you in liver failure? Why? It's not because of a virus. Go see my video on how viruses are isolated. Go to our website, search virus. Okay? It's not because of a virus. It's not hepatitis B. It's not the hepatitis B virus. It's not why. It's not why you're in liver failure. I guarantee you. Gallbladder problems? Why? Oh, they found that an enzyme is causing gallbladder issues? Why? What caused that enzyme to malfunction, in essence? There has to be a cause. Things don't just happen like this. Things happen for a reason. If something in your body isn't working right, there is a reason for it. If I had stopped in my research at the phase of getting a diagnosis, I would not be alive today. I guarantee you. You can't just stop with the diagnosis. I'd still be on the Pharmakeia merry-go-round. I'd be dead as a doorknob. I would not be here. Get a latex allergy? Why? What caused it? Why do you have a latex allergy? We got to dig deeper. We can't just stop at the diagnosis. There has to be a cause, or most likely causes, plural. You got pages of food allergies. Why do you have pages of food allergies? And by the way, I cured pages of food allergies. I still have a few. And of course, I can't eat toxic food that is not actually food. That's not a problem. That's being human. We are not intended to live on non-food synthetic products. We're intended to live on food. By the way, as an aside, with the food allergies, when we moved into our healthy home, I was able to eat again. I went 8 months without eating, which modern medicine says is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. I also decreasing the toxin exposures can help a lot of people with their food allergies, and for me, healing the gut was essential because my gut was wrecked after decades of doing what the experts told me to do. You got fibromyalgia. Why? What are the triggers? What's causing the fibromyalgia? I've got a video posted. Go to our website, search fibromyalgia. I've got a video posted on how I cured fibromyalgia. I was diagnosed when I was 14, came on when I was 13, and the doctors that I saw here in my state, I actually saw a team of doctors at Riley Hospital who was basically, the head lady was basically the female version of Gregory House, the House series. She's basically House. I was told that it was one of the worst cases in the state at the time when I was in high school, throughout my high school. And I was told that by multiple doctors, but it's gone now because I identified the causes. And then I addressed the causes. Class action lawsuits. There's a new one every day for products that science has declared to be safe. Don't you think that's a problem? Doctors are not trained to identify root causes of disease. Okay. They are educated in the Rockefeller education system, which is part of the pharmaceutical industry. Follow the money. Do your research. Follow the money. All diagnoses have root causes, but most just people decide that a diagnosis is the cause. Now, of course, there are situations and instances in which the diagnosis is identifying the cause, such as lead poisoning. All right. Okay. If you got lead poisoning as a diagnosis, then you are exposed to lead. There you go. There's your cause. But just going with a diagnosis and deciding that tells you what's wrong with you is erroneous. It is illogical, and you will not find healing on this path. Now, personally, there's only so much I can do at this point for my health because I have mercury in my teeth. And my health is at the point, my sensitivity to toxins is at the point where, specifically radio frequencies, is at the point where I haven't left the house for actually 3 years. 3 years now. So if I can't leave the house, I can't go get mercury out of my teeth now, can I? So mercury, of course, is acknowledged by the CDC to be one of the most toxic substances in the world, yet we put it in our teeth and say it's good. Yeah, upside down world much, right? Okay, so the primary causes of disease or dis-ease, which is the more accurate statement. Number one, injury. Western medicine excels at this. In that case, trauma, broken leg. Okay, what's wrong with me? I got a broken leg. You don't really need to go farther than that besides, okay, how did you break your leg? What did you do to break your leg? That sort of thing. But like I said, Western medicine excels at trauma. They fail miserably and cause great harm when it comes to chronic issues and when it comes to prevention of disease. So if you want to prevent yourself from getting sick, Western medicine is not where you want to go. If you want to address chronic issues, Western medicine is not where you want to go. I'm not advocating Eastern medicine, just stating facts. Second primary cause of disease, malnutrition. Of course, here in our wonderful, amazing Western society, we think that we've cured malnutrition and everybody just needs to take multivitamin. Do you know what's in the multivitamin? Okay, don't take the multivitamin. Of course, this is not medical information or advice. Consult your doctor. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA for the entire video. Most of our food is in reality tasty chemicals. Yum, chemicals. Yay. Do you know that as far as the United States compared to a number of other countries, a lot of what's on our grocery store shelves, it wouldn't be allowed to be on the grocery store shelves in a lot of other countries because it's not a food item? So we're basically eating plastic. In some cases. Some cases we're literally eating antifreeze. For example, a lot of ice cream actually has propylene glycol in it, which is antifreeze. And the cows are sprayed with propylene glycol, aka antifreeze, before milking, and then that gets into it, and that is, last I knew, that's permissible. No, for sure, that is permissible under the USDA organic label. So as I've declared many times, the USDA organic label is not what we're told. Nothing's what we're told. Malnutrition, our soil is trashed. If you are like us and you for example, have developed a woods into a homestead, if you want to call our area homestead. I do have an article that I need to get up soon about the real reasons for the food shortage that aren't being discussed in the news, and they won't be discussed in the news. I recommend planting weeds, edible weeds, right now. That is my updated recommendation. Learn about foraging, harvest seeds from, say, nettle that you find. Go plant it. That'll feed you. Continuing with malnutrition, even chemical-free produce often is not nutrient dense. So a lot of people say, well, I bought organic whatever at the grocery store. Okay, but what about the nutrition in it? Because if the soil is trashed, then you're not going to be getting the nutrients, and especially the trace minerals that you need. I do have a recommendation for trace minerals if you go to our website and search trace minerals. There's only one that is latex safe, by the way, if you have a latex allergy or want to avoid that toxin. If you are unaware that natural rubber latex is toxic, go to our website, search latex toxic. Doctors get very little training in nutrition, according to doctors. So this is not me looking at their curriculum and declaring this to be the case, or looking at their class load and declaring this to be the case. This is from doctors, many, many, many doctors who say that they haven't been trained in nutrition. But malnutrition is one of the primary causes of disease today. Almost everyone's malnourished in Western society, in civilized society. It's pretty undeniable that pretty much everyone is deficient in magnesium. And a lot of people take magnesium, but they don't address the cofactors. So I do recommend the root cause protocol. You can just search root cause protocol and find that. And you don't have to pay any money. You just sign up for their newsletter or whatever, and then you can get a link to download the root cause protocol. I don't recommend everything that the guy says, of course, but for the most part, it's been very helpful for me. You can also search magnesium on our website. I've got magnesium butter recipe on our website, maybe some other things as well. I take magnesium baths. And we drink magnesium water. I've got magnesium water recipe video up as well. I don't remember if that is on our website or not, but you can go to Odyssey and search for magnesium on our Odyssey page for that information. Third, so we've got injury, malnutrition. Third, hereditary or genetic issues. This is a 3A. Okay, this is 3A, but that's not the root cause. So a lot of people will say, well, it's just genetics. There's nothing we can do about it. It's not our fault. The field of epigenetics is very interesting. I do suggest extreme caution if you go down that road, because there's just not much research or anecdotal data in regards to that field. But it is interesting, an interesting field. But even the CDC admits that endocrine disrupting chemicals are a significant factor in birth defects, which you can't do anything about birth defects. Yeah, you can prevent them by not poisoning yourself. Wow. Where is logic today? It is not in our world. Mutagens are things that cause mutations. The DNA changes, and mutagens are everywhere. They're in everything. They're in our water, they're in our air, they're in our food, they're in our soil. They're in lots of plastic products. They're in lots of cleaning chemicals. But it's not that they're in it, but these chemicals are mutagenic in nature. So non-native EMFs are known mutagens. Tobacco, known mutagen. I don't even remember how many chemicals are in a cigarette, but it's astounding. X-rays, those are all mutagenic. They will change your DNA. Do you really think that's a good idea to change your DNA? Please do not engage in genetic modification experiments. If you want information on the V topic, I researched it for over a year independently, full time, and I have a link or a very extensive article on the website. If you search the V word, which I can't say on here, if you search the V word on our website, over 75 authoritative links over 75. Lots and lots of information on that. Of course, genetic modification, the thing that we're being told is a V is genetic modification. It's not even a V, but it still has all those chemicals in it. So, of course, some people are presently voluntarily injecting and testing mutagens on their own body, and thus people are dropping like flies. It should hurt your heart to see all the people dropping like flies and all the people who are suffering terribly. Just look at the VAERS data and know that 1% or less in some cases are reported. Third, overall, so that was 3A. So overall, the mutagens are basically chemicals, all right? And so this third cause of disease is toxins. Of course, non-native EMFs are not chemicals, however, they are toxic, and it's been declared by experts in the field that, hey, we can do anything with EMFs that we can do with chemicals. And then, they flip their hair and they're like, oh yeah, we're just wonderful because we can do anything with EMFs that we can do with chemicals. Think of everything that can be done with chemicals to harm you. Now, think, okay, so they're doing that with chemicals and they're doing that with EMFs because the 5G is a directed energy weapon, right? You know that is a military weapon, right? And they're rolling it out everywhere, including in the sky. Those are just dirigibles up there. Of course, they're very close. Both my husband and I have witnessed a near collision with aircraft. So toxins. Some toxins are natural. Just because it's natural doesn't mean it's safe, right? Don't fall for that fallacy. I'm not going to go in and list a whole bunch of things that are natural but are toxic. Generally speaking, natural is better, generally, but not always. Most synthetic chemicals are toxic in some way, shape, or form. Laundry products, fragrance, non-native EMFs. So when I talk about non-native EMFs, we've got radio frequencies, which are, you got that from Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, cell phones. Also cordless DECT phones. Those are actually worse than cell phones in a lot of cases, as far as the radio frequencies that they emit. Also, you've got dirty electricity. That's another type of non-native EMF. Dirty electricity is what rides on the power lines, and it basically is this. Okay, and the spikes, the hills and the valleys. I mean, it's harmful to you. If you're, for example, working on a tiny home or something like that, we recommend armor-clad wiring. That can help because that basically acts as a Faraday cage for the fields, but those fields still come through on the electronics and such. So if you have something with a switch mode power supply, then you want to limit that as much as possible. For example, if you have a laptop and then you have the plug and then there's a box and then it goes to the plug-in, that box is the switch mode power supply. So you want to avoid that. You want to avoid fluorescent lights, CFL, LED. You want to avoid those sorts of things. Refrigerators can add dirty electricity, as can window air conditioners, those sorts of things. But the most harmful thing would be, in my opinion, when it comes to dirty electricity, would be the fluorescent lights, because you can hear that dirty electricity. You can hear it, or at least I can anyways. And then the smart meters also. Some people can't opt out. We cannot opt out here. We don't have a power company. We have a power co-op, and they are God. They know all. They gaslight all the time. And they do not care if you die. They do not care that they almost killed me multiple times. You can go to our website and search how a smart meter almost killed me 3 times. So if you just search smart meter on our website, you'll find the article. They don't care. They do not care. They're basically transhumanists. They do not care about humans at all. And they will not respect the law. They do not care about Section 504, the Americans with Disabilities Act. They don't care about that. No, doesn't matter. Also magnetic frequencies, magnetic non-native EMS also, as well as electrical fields. So those are 4 different types of non-native EMFs. Of course, the Schumann resonance is natural, that comes from the earth. However, there are many people, including myself, who believe that it has changed starting April 22nd, 2020, which was the SpaceX launch. And we can see them at night. We can watch them at night. A lot of people say that they're UFOs. Those are not UFOs. Those are satellite. They're dirigibles. Okay, they're not far at all. And I've got an article on the website about how far can 5G go. Over 144, or maybe not over, but 144 miles is what's been researched. And it is what it is. That article also addresses trees, and trees definitely help, but they can't do everything, right? And the trees are dying off everywhere, okay, because of the fields that are being unleashed upon the world. I've got an article on microwave sickness on the website as well, and it does end up diving deep into prophecy, which you may not be interested in. That's fine, I love you, but it's got a list of symptoms, and everybody's sick with microwave sickness because they are constantly using cell phones, constantly using Wi-Fi, all of these other things that are unnecessary. You don't need to do that to your body. More toxins to consider. Pharmaceuticals, of course. We've got articles on the website and videos posted on Pharmakeia. Pharmaceuticals are by definition chemicals. Here in Indiana, we've got Eli Lilly and a number of other pharmaceutical companies. And Eli Lilly produces both pharmaceuticals and, for example, pesticides. Pesticide? I don't remember if it's a pesticide or herbicide that I looked at their SDS for, but they produce other chemicals as well. So big pharma is big chemical. When I talk about Pharmakeia, I am including chemicals. All right, personal care products, body wash, soap. I've got an article on soap on the website. Also got an article on shampoo on the website. Those are both really popular articles, and Google still likes them. Most of our, well, not most, but some of our articles have been blacklisted once Google realized what I was actually saying in the articles. Cleaning products. You don't need to spend money on vinegar. Make your own vinegar from fruit scraps and sugar. It's very cheap, very easy, and you end up with a concentrated vinegar, and so then you can dilute that vinegar, and it lasts a long time. This vinegar that you make homemade also is very beneficial for your gut biome. It has lots of benefits for your health to consume. I add some to my tea every day. Mycotoxins also are toxic. Mycotoxins are produced by mold. Building materials. This is a big one. Our home was very specifically designed, and the materials were very carefully selected. I tested everything, and our home thus is a non-toxic home. Paint, kitchen cabinets, engineered wood, those are all prime suspects for the emission of toxic chemicals into the air, inside the air. And a lot of these chemicals, carpet's a bad one. Carpet is so bad. Please don't buy new carpet. We actually just heard from someone not too long ago who was it carpet? I don't know if it was carpet or a different type of floor. Put some kind of floor in, and they couldn't live in their house anymore. But I believe part of the issue with the reason why they couldn't live in their house anymore as well was because of a small cell tower nearby as well. So it was dualistic nightmare. Sorry if that's you. My heart goes out to you. I did email you back, by the way. Pesticides, herbicides, those are all chemicals. Those are all toxins. They cause problems. Mercury, I've already spoken about mercury previously. If you have mercury in your teeth, you have to be very careful about who you choose to do the removal, because if it's done improperly, it will make you sicker. And so it's really got to be someone that you really trust. Be sure it's someone naturopathic, by the way. Arsenic is still in building materials. And by the way, arsenic is naturally occurring. Okay? And it's toxic. Our water is just full of chemicals. I will link below to the distiller that we use. And the company that makes them, which is slipping my mind right now, they were wonderful about answering my questions. They did respond erroneously with inaccurate information in regards to coconut in the filters. And so I responded factually and said, you need to do some more research on this. This is not okay. This is not true what you're saying. And they did. They did more research. He came back and responded and said, hey, look, I did more research, and I found these links. Thanks for educating us. I don't know that has happened more than twice ever. Maybe 3 times, because Joybed also is really great in communicating with them as well. I'll drop a link below to Joybed, but they do have metal springs, metal coils. So if you search our website for springs or coils, I forget which word, I do have an article on that and why I don't recommend that you have coils in your mattress. Carcinogens, mutagens, these things are all harmful. So primary causes of disease: injury, malnutrition, toxins, toxic exposure. 4th, stress, fear, anxiety. Fear everywhere. 2020. Fear. And now what are we being told? Fear. It never stops. The fear narrative never stops. If you are engaging in fear, by the way, we've got a couple videos up on fear. You can search our Odyssey channel. If you're engaging in fear, you can't think. You can't exercise logical, critical thought. You're a robot. Don't rely on your emotions to make decisions. If you are freaking out about the warnings in regards to the grid issues that we're being warned about for the summer, then you're engaging in fear. So don't do that. You're going to make stupid decisions. Don't be an idiot. Because if you are embracing fear, if you're making decisions in fear, then you are inherently being an idiot. It's no wonder the elite call us useless eaters, because all they have to do is make something up or engineer a false flag, and they got us. They got us doing whatever they want us to do. Anxiety, fear and anxiety, that is control over you. It is far better to be master of your mind and emotions than to be master of your possessions. Embrace fear or anxiety, and you can just wave goodbye to critical thought. But people get sick from stress, anxiety, fear. Now you might be saying, okay, so Leanna, you have said primary causes of disease: injury, malnutrition, toxin exposure, stress, fear, anxiety, but parasites, but bacteria, but viruses. I have already told you, go see my 5-minute demonstration on how viruses are isolated, all right? Research exosomes, research exosome theory. Go read the studies that were conducted in regards to the Spanish flu as to whether they were contagious, whether contagion theory was demonstrated or not, or whether it was demonstrated to be erroneous. Go read those studies. There were multiple conducted on humans as well as on 3 or 4 different animals, for sure, maybe more. just going by what I've read. If you are not malnourished, if you're avoiding toxins, poison, and you have a nourished gut, bacteria and parasites aren't really something to be worried about. If you are alive, then you are inherently someone with bacteria and parasites in you. That's a fact of living. That's part of living. If you are trying to kill everything that's in you, all of the bacteria, then you're not going to have a healthy gut. You're going to be sick. Bacteria, I don't remember what the statistics were that I saw, but a lot of our body is bacteria, my dear. Much of your body is bacteria. So if you take an antibiotic to kill bacteria, you're killing your body. That doesn't sound like such a good idea now, does it? Another contributing factor are blocked detox pathways. I don't feel like this is warranted to add to a fifth one, but to add a fifth cause. But because the cause really is toxin exposure and malnutrition as well, because if you got either of those or both going on, then you're going to end up with your detox pathways blocked. Your body can't handle the amount of toxin exposure that you're requiring it to handle. If you're going to Western medicine to ascertain the root cause of your maladies, you'll never succeed. You have to do your own research. No one cares about your health more than you do. You need to own it. I wish someone had told me this decades ago. I didn't know. I did what the experts told me to, and it screwed me over. It screwed me up. Don't make the same mistakes that I did. I beg you. You must take control. The diagnoses that you'll get from Western medicine are almost always symptoms, not causes, not the root cause. Like I said, there are a few exceptions, but it's very rare. For me, the root cause was partaking in the very root cause, okay? Because I looked at all my medical records way back to when I was born, because my mom had kept them. It was partaking in an injection of blood and toxic chemicals. It was an experimental medical product. Hardly any babies or young children got it. My brother got it as well, but he was 7 years older than me, and he had issues as well, and still has some issues as well. Not to my extent, however. We're different people. We've had different exposures. And the younger you are when you're exposed to something like this, then the worse it is for you, typically. The skyrocketing rate of diagnosis for mast cell activation syndrome is not incidental. The skyrocketing chronic diseases, that's not incidental. The skyrocketing death rate since the you-know-what came out, you think it just happened? You guys just happened? Just coincidence? There are reasons for everything. There are reasons for disease. Remember, most industry today is owned by 3 primary hedge funds. Follow the money. Follow the money. The same people who are educating and deciding what your doctor learns in school and what your doctor learns in their continuing education, those same people are the ones who are trying to sell you pharmaceuticals. Those same people are the ones who are trying to sell you herbicides, pesticides, cleaning products, body care products, makeup, building materials. All these industries are the same. It all goes back to Pharmakeia. Thus, judgment. They all cause pretty much every diagnosis known to man, outside, of course, of trauma-related issues, including mental illness diagnoses. A lot of people who have issues with mental illness, including myself. I had issues with mental illness, anxiety when I was younger. And also, when I was older, so it would have been 2016 when it was when I realized, 2015, when I realized that the cell phone, that was what made, and a jetpack, so radio frequencies, that caused anxiety for me. Direct cause, 100%. Chemicals that are used, that we pay money for and are told that are good, those are the same things that are used to change our brain chemistry. That's the same stuff that's being put in our water. It's being sprayed in our air. Appendicitis has a cause. COPD has a cause or causes. Cancer has a cause or causes. Mast cell activation syndrome, same thing. Everything's got a cause. More accurately, these all have multiple causes. Liver disease, reproductive issues. These things don't just happen. It's not just a mystery, like we're told. You will almost never identify these causes by going to the doctor or paying thousands of dollars for tests. Save your money. Save your money. We are all in this cycle of harm. First, the symptoms are caused. People pay for this via non-native EMFs and chemicals. They pay for it to be sick. They pay to poison themselves. Literally. Because they don't know any better. I didn't know any better. I say this with love. But you have to take responsibility for your decisions. You have to take responsibility for your health and for the health of your family. Because if you don't, big industry will. And you will be sick. You will pay for that decision. I have paid for that decision. I trusted for 30 years. Okay. First, they cause the symptoms. Secondly, so there's money. Okay. All right. So we're told in the advertisements, oh, we need this toxic chemical because our house stinks. Clean your house. Open a window. Spray some vinegar in the air. It's not rocket science here. Even rocket science isn't rocket science. If more people read rocket science, people would have very different opinions about cosmology. First, the symptoms are caused, then the symptoms are diagnosed. Money. So cause the symptoms, money, money, money. Okay, give me money to poison you. Secondly, diagnose the symptoms, give me money to diagnose the symptoms and put a label on it. Thirdly, mask the symptoms with more toxic chemicals. These side effects, oh, those are over there. Don't look at the side effects. Don't look at those side effects. That's just on the side. How about we just say they're effects? These effects that we're told to ignore because they're just on the side, those cause new symptoms, which you paid for. And then you are back in the cycle again of going to get a diagnosis for these symptoms. And then you're told, well, take this pill to treat these symptoms. More money. And then that pill gives you more symptoms, of course. And those symptoms require diagnosis, which requires more money. See where I'm going? It's a cycle. Get off that merry-go-round if you can. Now, there are some things that, end of life pain and things like that. You've got trauma. If you've had a transplant, you got to use your sound mind. Use critical thought, exercise judgment. Don't just stop a medication. You got to be careful with these things. I was on this merry-go-round for decades and I'm still paying the price. No one cares more about your health than you do. You have got to own it. I know other people aren't going to tell you this. You got to take responsibility. You are an adult. With being an adult comes responsibility. I take responsibility for my stupid decisions and my ignorance. So now it's time for you to do the same. I love you. Take care of yourself. Stop hurting yourself. Stop poisoning yourself, your family, and others, and your pets, and the environment. Will you learn from my experience, or will you continue to harm yourself and others? The choice is yours. Choose carefully. Choose carefully. Non-toxic out.